السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. جزاكم الله خير, my dear respected brothers and sisters. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of you, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this gathering. Today, we're going to be continuing our series to talk about the fiqh of worshipping. And today we're going to be introducing or starting a new book, which is the book of fasting, Kitab al-Siyam. So in this book, inshallah, we're going to be talking in details all the fiqh related questions when it comes to Siyam. And inshallah, we're going to be covering that in the upcoming episodes with Allah ta'ala. So, brothers and sisters, when it comes to Siyam, what's the definition of Siyam? What is the definition of Siyam? الصيام هو الإمساك عن الأكل والشرب وسائر المفطرات مع استحضار النية من طلوع الفجر الصادق إلى غروب الشمس. This is the definition of Siyam, of fasting, which is that someone would hold off from eating and drinking and everything that is going to invalidate their fasting, with making sure that someone have the appropriate niyyah from the time of Fajr all the way until sunset. Okay. Now, so this is the way we defined fasting. Okay. Why? Because now with this definition, what we have talked about, what we do, some of its essential pillars, which is a niyyah, and holding off food, and the time frame. Where do we start and where do we end? Now, the question here is that what is the ruling of Siyam in Islam? What is the ruling on Siyam? So Siyam is fardun بنص الكتاب والسنة. That Siyam is an obligatory thing based on the Quran and the Sunnah. And there is so many things that would indicate that يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. Or you believe fasting have been or prescribed on you just like it was prescribed in previous generations. Allah subhanahu also Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said بني الإسلام على خمس. Islam was established in 5 pillars, and he mentioned one of them to be صيام وصوم رمضان. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said إذا رأيتموه فصوموا. If you see the hilal of Ramadan, then this is when you start fasting. So this is in brief what is the ruling when it comes to fasting. So it's an obligation on each and every Muslim who is who is able or physically and physically. So now, what does the Siyam have arkan, like have pillars? Yes, it does. There are mainly just 2 pillars for the fasting. Just two pillars for the fasting. The number one and the most obvious is the niyyah, that you have to have the appropriate intention. For instance, someone could be holding off from eating from sunrise to sunset because they don't have food or because they're dieting, So would that count as their fasting? No, because they don't have the appropriate intention. So you must have the intention, and this is something pretty much we talked about many times in the past, that it's the essence of almost all worshipings, is you must have the intention. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ. And they were ordered to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with sincerity, with pure intention toward him. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said وَإِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ, that these are based on what? Based on intention. Okay. And there is a difference in opinion when it comes to when do we make that intention. Do we make it daily, like right before the next day, or we make an intention for the whole month? This is pretty much a difference between the scholars. Some scholars say that if someone could make an intention for the whole month, and some people went off with the evidence of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said من لم يجمع الصيام قبل الفجر فلا صيام له. Whoever does not intend to have siyam before Fajr, then he has no fasting. So why there are another group of scholars who says that that you could have one intention for the whole month, because it's obvious that someone, obviously if I'm going to wake up, I'm going to have the intention to fast that day. I don't have to, it's known, And I think that's the easiest thing for anyone to do. Okay. The second pillar of intention, the second pillar of fasting, which is al-imsaku al muftarat, that you would hold off anything that is going to invalidate your siyam. Well, and this is from the time from sunrise to sunset, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يعني وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر, and then eat and drink until what? Until Fajr, you know. ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل, and then you continue fasting until sun would set. Okay. And here layl, the word night here, meaning that when as soon as the sun would set, because night in Islam, as soon the sun, you don't see the disk of the sun, that's considered to be night. And this is when we break our fast. Okay. And that's what is known to the Arabs back then. Okay. Now, some might ask, what is the wisdom behind fasting? Why do we fast? يعني obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have a wisdom for us, you know. So the scholars have extracted few things that possibly could count for the reason or the wisdom behind fasting. And I'm going to be, inshallah, sharing some of these wisdoms for you. Number one is tazkiyatun nafs, that you're purifying your soul, you know. When someone, brothers and sisters, when someone, brothers and sisters, fast, he's purifying himself. He's become, naturally speaking, more attached to the divine. He is letting go of all of the dunya, you know, and and you will see him more spiritually awakened, you know. And that's one of the beauties of Siyam. الصوم يطهر القلب, يعني the sawm purifies the heart, you know, and makes him more close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يعني يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. يعني so the essence of fasting is what? So we could be more God fearing at the end, and that's the essence of fasting. Okay. So the very first thing is what? Is to purify your nafs. Second, um, it makes you less attached to the dunya, make you more zahid. Okay. فالصيام يجعل العبد زاهدا في الدنيا. It makes you less attached to the world. Why? Because obviously, what is the essence of, what is the things that make us attached to this world? Food, luxury, you know. But when you attach yourself from these essential things and you let go of it, and you know, it makes you less attached to this world. And that's what some of the things that you train yourself to do during the month of Ramadan. Okay. Third, that it makes you um, more closer to the people who are poor. And when you feel what hungers mean, when you feel what does it mean to be thirsty, it makes you be more aware of some of the people feel when they're hungry and when they're thirsty, and that makes you more, um, have more empathy when it comes to these things, and that's the beauty of Siyam. It makes you realize what these people are going through. You know, brothers and sisters, sometimes giving people money, it makes it more it makes it more closer to them when you feel what they feel, and that's one of the things that the Siyam encouraged us to do. Okay. Also, it teaches you how to have a strong will. It teaches you how to have a will to hold off from eating, a will to hold off from drinking water, a will to resist, to handle. What does it mean to be hot, especially when we fast in the summer months? For long hours, and how to have patience and all of that. It teaches the individual how to have a strong will. Fifth, also teaches you how to collaborate with other people, how to cooperate with each other. Because when you're fasting, you're fasting with other Muslims. And sometimes people cook food together, they go to the masjid together, they break their fast together, they make their suhoor together, they make qiyam al-layl together, and etc. So it shows how strengthening the bond between people during the month of Ramadan. Also, it teaches you how to be organized, because during the month of Ramadan, people become more, they work their schedule around Ramadan. For instance, they come home early so they could break their fast together. They wake up early in the morning. It makes your time more organized. People are reading the Quran at certain times of the day, and etc. So make at the end of the day, person, you see his life is much more organized during the month of Ramadan. Also, I mean, that's very important. That it resets your your health. It's a reset to your health, and this is have been proven scientifically by many scientific articles. How fasting is something, and people say that our body, the human body, is created to fast. And how is it good for the human body? How does it decrease your cholesterol? How could sometimes evidences have been found that it decreases the an individual to have cancer. So fasting definitely have so much health benefits. There are so many that you could easily Google and look up. Okay. Now, what is the conditions for having a proper fasting? It's mainly, I would say, only two: having the proper niyyah, and making sure that the individual have tahara. Like, this is especially become pertinent to our sisters, that they don't have, they're not in their monthly period, and or no, nor that they have recently delivered a baby, al haid wal nifas. So when you are have tahara from these two, then you could then your fasting is okay, and as long as you have the proper intention, and you have not eaten between Fajr and Maghrib, then you should be fine, بإذن ta'ala. Now, what are the يعني, the benefits of fasting? Let's go that over that very quickly. First of all, brothers and sisters, fasting is considered to be one of the most easiest way to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, كل ابن آدم كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصيام فهو لي وأنا أجزي به. That each and every deeds for son of Adam, except for fasting, it's for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would reward by it. Meaning that because this is something is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, if you are praying, everybody possibly will know that you are praying. If you're making hajj, everybody know that you are making hajj. But when you're fasting, no one knows truly that you are fasting except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira ma taqaddama lahu min dhanbi." Whoever fasts Ramadan for Ramadan out of faith and out of seeking, seeking forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would erase all of his sin. So this is one of the easiest way to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, Siyam, brothers and sisters, is considered to be um, a training season for the true mu'min, because it teaches you how to struggle against your own nafs, struggle against your own hawa, your own desires, struggle how to be patient, how to hold yourself from being angry. So it teaches you how to. It's like a training boot camp, in which you go through all of these things and teaches you how to reset yourself and reset your behavior and etc. Okay. Also, brothers and sisters, it makes a person more God fearing. And that's what, and I referred to that earlier, لعلكم تتقون. So you be more God fearing. And that's one of the essence of fasting, is that at the end of the month, that we don't go back into doing what we're doing, but rather we become more God fearing. And that's the beauty of Siyam. And if someone did not gain that, then I guess that fasting is not really, it doesn't make any sense. Because at the end of, if you go through all of this fasting, all of this Quran, and all this Qiyam al-Layl, and at the end of the day, you're not God fearing, and you go back into committing the sins that you used to do before the month of Ramadan, then absolutely you have not really accomplished a whole lot. Okay. Also, Siyam, um, this is the way you يعني it is the slogan of the righteous people. Siyam is a slogan of the righteous people. Why? Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "جعل الله عليكم الصيام جعل عليكم الصلاة قوم أبرار يقومون الليل ويصومون النهار ليسوء بإثمه ولا فجار." يعني one of the characteristics of the righteous people is what? They would fast. They would fast. And this is something that is, it's like a sign of someone who is righteous بإذن الله تعالى. And also, nothing is equal to Siyam. Nothing is equal to Siyam. يعني Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم said, he said عليك بالصوم فإن لا عدل له. يعني fast, there is nothing equal to Siyam, and that's how much reward the individual will be able to attain when someone fasts. So much reward, you know. Yeah, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in another hadith, talks about that how even the smell of a fasting person is more lovable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the perfume. وخلوف فم الصائم أطيب عند الله من ريح المسك. يعني that the smell of the fasting person to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is more beautiful than um, the musk. That does not mean that you should not brush your teeth. Obviously, Islam is all about cleansing and making sure that you clean. But sometimes, subhanallah, people, when they have gastric smell that comes out of their own stomach, that's different. That's really different. Also, brothers and sisters, siyam, يعني, people who fast, the malaika would praise them. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على المتسحرين. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the angels would praise those who make suhoor. They prepare the food to eat before fasting. So this is something that even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his angels will praise you. Also, as I said before, الصيام كفارة للخطيئات. يعني one of the ways to erase your sins is by fasting. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, um, فتنة الرجل في أهله وماله ونفسه وولده وجاره يكفرها الصيام. That the person trials among his family and his kids and his neighbors, all these sins, what extinguish all of them is fasting. All of this fasting, and this is something, brothers and sisters, and it's worth looking into. Okay. And one of the most beautiful things, brothers and sisters, that I don't see many people taking advantage of is دعوة الصائم لا ترد. That the supplication of the fasting person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would accept immediately. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, ثلاثة لا ترد دعوتهم. That three people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept their supplication. Who are they? الصائم حين يفطر. When as soon as you break your fast and you make dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would definitely accept your dua. Okay. Also, and we will see this coming in the next few months, الصوم في الشتاء غنيمة البارد. يعني the easiest thing that someone can do that attain so much reward is when someone fasts during what? The winter months. Why? Because the sun would set early, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and it'll be easier. No one would feel that they are fasting. Prophet Muhammad says, "الصوم في الشتاء الغنيمة." يعني that when someone fasts during the winter month, it's like this is like you should take advantage of it because there is so much, so much reward that comes with it. والصوم في الصيف يورث السقيا يوم العطش. That when someone fasts during the summer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would give them and give them water in the hereafter when they're thirsty. So يعني and Siyam, brothers and sisters, considered to be junna min al-nar. يعني one of the ways to protect yourself from the hellfire is by fasting. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Was-sawmu junna min adhabillah." That's fasting is considered to be what? A protection from the hellfire. And there's also a whole door. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have dedicated a door. One of the doors of Jannah is called Bab al-Rayyan. It's dedicated for those who fast a lot. وإن في الجنة بابا يقال له الريان يدخل منه الصائمون يوم القيامة. There is a door in the Jannah of the Jannah. It's called al-Rayyan. Only the fasting people would enter from it. And whoever end his deeds with fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would enter him in Jannah. Whoever like his last deed in this world was fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have guaranteed for him Jannah. Man ختم له بصيام وصام يوم دخل الجنة. Whoever his one of the last things he have done is fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would make him enter the Jannah. And that's in brief, brothers and sisters, some of the benefits of fasting. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide all of us and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this beneficial for all of us. جزاكم الله خير والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.